I move so far.
Too long. We are on, Bradley.
Perfect. How are
What
you?
silly with you, man?
Nothing much, just been out here on the grind,
Yeah, I
trying
feel
to
you.
get this.
This
How you?
these last 2 months, Bradley, has it been a little bit quieter?
Yeah, like in the summer, I noticed, especially here, I was like, maybe it's the heat. Everybody's just kind of,
Yeah, so the heat, I think, definitely plays a small role into it, and it's got to be the summer for sure. The fact that the kids are at home and parents have to allocate money in different places because you know they have 1 or 2 kids are eating a lot more at home, so they have to buy more groceries and have back to school shopping. That takes up money right there. Uh, and also in generally, I think the right now that people are starting to feel finally the pressure of inflation, and a lot of people are cutting down on costs right now, Bradley. Because I'm starting to feel it. I talked to other people in the Patreon page, different states as well, from
Mhm.
Texas to Florida to Georgia, and they're all feeling the same thing right now. And I can tell too by the traffic that goes to my website as well. That itself has slowed down a bit, Bradley.
Yeah, and I also think it's summer. A lot of people are traveling, so a lot of people spend their money on like vacations and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So once the fall comes back in, because now I'm starting to notice like a slight, it's starting to reboot again
You're right.
for fall events.
Yeah,
So
you're
I
right.
could see that. How was it last summer for you?
Last summer was busier than this summer. And I think what played into it was the economy was a little bit different last year. And on top of that, there wasn't as much competition. So that
Yeah.
that also helps if you're in an area where there's not too much competition, you're gonna get a lot of those inquiries. So that equals more bookings.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's I'm in Miami, so it's pretty competitive out here. But we just gotta keep going at it. And one thing that I noticed that was coming in super important is the SEO. Like
Mhm.
when you're ranking, that's gonna be like the game changer because now when people look, they're gonna just be going off whatever's on the top.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Did you
I
see
feel
that?
like
Did you see that tool I'm using, Bradley?
which one?
The newest one I introduced to everyone. It's like one of my secret weapons. It's called the local dominator.
Yes, I watched your video on that like 2 days ago.
Yeah. If you check that out, in fact, we can check it out today in today's meeting. I can run a scan on your Google profile to see how you're looking with your competition for certain keywords, which is gonna be pretty awesome.
And I mean, from the last time we spoke, I did a lot of work to like the website and stuff like that. So I'd definitely like to look at that and make sure that, you know, I fixed a lot of the right things.
Yeah, we could check that out. Is that where you want to get started today, brother? You want to get
Sure.
started with the SEO?
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. So I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna share my screen, and then just if you got any more questions, just go ahead and shoot them at me. They're gonna just get started stuff on right over here. Personally, I'm always excited to see how in the individual that I'm talking with how their business is doing because like I mentioned in my video, it's like we could feel confident and we can feel excited about our Google profile. And sometimes we look up our Google profile business on our phones and we usually come up on the top three, most of the time on the top, but that's because we're utilizing our device or our laptop and the IP address recognize us as locally this is where we're located. So it actually shows us the very closest place to us, which is usually our address that we use.
Yeah.
So it's essential that we start picking up on certain tools to help us see where the SEO is at. And
Mhm.
I'm also curious to see that your website in a little bit. But yeah, this is called Local Dominator, and I'm just gonna go ahead and try to find you right up here, Bradley. What's the Google profile business?
It's Esteem 360 Studios. Yeah,
Southwest.
so that's the one that I'm trying to get them to merge to, because I have two for some reason. And
Yeah.
I've been trying to reach out to somebody to make them merge it. But
Mhm.
I think this is the one that ranks better though, for whatever reason.
Yeah. So the other one has a similar name to it,
It's the same name. It's just that I don't know why.
two different
Uh
emails.
it's
And
different emails, yes. Because that's the one that I did until I realized that I needed a business email and a business domain. So then I made another one, not really knowing.
I would say utilize the one that has the most reviews.
The other one has way more reviews. It has like 70 or something like that.
Yeah, that's the one that's going to carry you guys. Reviews are like a solid, I want to say close to 70% of how you guys rank on Google is based off reviews. Uh, and if I'm just wondering if there's a way that we can run both of them, because they have the
I'm not
same name,
sure.
huh?
I reached out to the lady. I reached out to somebody from Google today, and
Huh?
she opened the case for me to get them merged together.
Yeah. All right. That's incredible. Good. I'm glad you're proactive about it. Okay,
Mhm.
Riley. So I put your name right up here and it found it right away, which is great. We're gonna run two scans for you. You guys are just doing the 360 booth, not the photo booth yet, right? Right? Or are you guys
Oh, we
doing
do the
both?
photo booth too. We do both.
All right, so let's do that. Let's run one for the 360 and run for just the photo booth. So this first one right here, we're gonna go with the 1 mile, 10 by 10,
Mhm.
and we're gonna use miles. We're gonna use 360 booth here, and I'm gonna look for the other tab here. Let me go ahead and hit search. Okay. And then we're going to run another one, but the second one we're going to use is photo booth rental. I want to see how you're looking for those keywords there.
And as far as like per day, how much time are you spending like working on the business?
On a day, it's changed a lot, especially now that I have an individual. Well, here's the thing now that it's changed a lot over the last few months, probably. Before I was kind of doing everything as it came to me and then following up and then going back and forth just for one booking. Now I'm at a point where I've streamlined a lot of that work for both me and the client. And I'm going to elaborate on that in a little bit here. Let me go ahead and share this map with you, and then we'll get started on share this with you. I'm going to put this here in the chat link. There you go. And then I'm going to run another scan for photo booth rental here. Let's search. Okay, here's our first reading. Bradley, and like I said, I think it's going to be a lot better if we can actually use the other Google profile as your main
Yeah.
one, because this one is not ranking. It needs a ton of work. Right here on the top left side, this is where you're ranking the best, which is it's a very small proximity. And so far, this specific Google profile, it doesn't rank number one anywhere, even where you're actually based off. If just within here, I'll zoom in a little bit and I want to give you a visual. Like even in this little area, you're not ranking number one for 360 photo booth, which is imperative because that's the keyword that we all as 360 booth business owners want to rank for. And then after that, it could be other things such as photo booth. And right here, and then actually what's cool too though with this tool here, Bradley, I can actually see just within my area who's doing a lot better than I am and why, right? So if I go over to number 5 right here, and I check out the competitor that's taking this spot right here, it's these folks. It's 360 Nation, photo booth rentals, and then we have these individuals here, and then Miami. So these are the three, and then it goes down, and then you get fourth place right here. So out of curiosity, we can actually go onto their profile and check out their profile. Now, these guys are ranking and they're on the wrong GMB category. So as long as your Google profile is in the right Google category and you're getting decent reviews, then you can outrank these folks right away. So one of the ways you can do that is this. So for example, let's say that, I'm gonna close this here. Let's say we zoom in again and we want to rank like right here in this area, right? All you have to do is if you, for example, have like an event in this area and you get Google reviews, then this area starts getting green for you, which is why I hope that the lady processes your ticket much faster so that we can utilize the existing one you guys started off with that has a close to 70 stars, because it's gonna look a lot different when that happens.
Yeah.
And another thing is when you're let's see, let me check you guys out right here.
Like I think the Palm Beach, the one that says Palm Beach is probably the correct one.
Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the one we ran. Am I correct? I think
Yeah.
because
Oh,
yeah,
that's correct.
it's only 7 reviews. That would make more sense. But you said there's a Palm Beach one. Let's see.
It said Palm Beach. That's the one right there. The one that says Miami, Florida.
This one, okay.
Mhm.
So let's see if I can grab, because if I can use this one instead on local down and local down. Let's see.
Yeah, with that one, I actually, so something that I ran into was the location. It was saying that the location is not correct, like throughout the business, like it, and then Google flagged it.
Hmm.
So I got like the postcard and everything, but for some reason it got flagged. So then I ended up having to remove the address and I just did service areas instead. And that's how I got relisted.
Let's see. So in a situation like that, what Google wants is for you to show proof that the location is actually the business. Yeah, but it's not gonna pop up since it's so southwest.
Yeah, that's not the right one. That's why it's so urgent for me to get these two merged.
Hmm. This might do it. Let's see if it acknowledged it as the Esteem 360 here. So I put in the map,
Yeah, did they just do it as the same one?
still doing it the same one, even though I shared the URL of the map. But let's check this one out here. Wait, is this because it's showing 10? Why is it showing 10? Which is a little bit better.
Oh, it looks like the same one.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the same results. So definitely, Bradley. So if one of them got flagged, right, the one that got flagged that has the most reputation and most credibility and the most traffic, that's the one where you would have to put in physical address. And then if Google flags it for whatever reason, as long as they can send either a letter or they can arrange a video call with you and you can show them that you are at that address and you're actually operating out of that address, right? Like for example, where you're sitting down right now, you could be like, this is my workstation. Then
Mhm.
they'll bring it back to life. They'll remove the flag and then you'll start ranking immediately.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
Let me see here another thing that I wanted to check out. And for your GMB, it'll be if you can change it to, and you probably are not able to make certain changes right now.
because I'm on the
Yeah.
service thingy.
Yep.
See, like it pops up the Coral Gables one. That's all of mine. Those are the service areas I had. No, the second one. That's still the same one.
Because your the GMB shows photography. So whenever you get it, when you're able to have access to it and make proper edits to it, this is one of the first things you want to do. You want to come in here, Bradley, and you want to put in photo booth instead of photography services.
For sure.
Yeah. But let's also do not just 360 booth, but let's do the let's go back and grab the one for photo booth rental, which is this one here. Now this one's probably going to be a lot more competitive, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot more competitive. So this one is going to take some time, but I'm just glad that you know what's going on and that you're doing something about it, right? And
Mhm.
usually Google they reply within like 48 hours, Bradley. So
Yeah, I know. She already answered to me, so I'm just waiting on her to get the ticket. Because I did it through like the request. I had to find like this lady who had helped me once before, and I just use her for everything, even though it's not her department. But I feel like whenever she does it, it gets dealt with really fast.
it gets done, yeah. So let me see. Let's go ahead and visit your website. Let's go visit your website right now. Very nice. Let me go grab my tool right over here. Turn this on. Right, turn it on. All right, Bradley. So this is how things are. This is how things look when it's being indexed. For your H1, we have one event photo booth rental in Miami. So number one, this is a long tail keyword, and this number one in the front might throw it off a little bit. If you would have just left event photo booth rental in Miami, that would have
I'll
been.
get that fixed.
Say that again for me, Bradley.
I'll get that fixed. No, for sure, I'll get that fixed.
Yeah. So event photo booth rental in Miami is it will be a solid keyword. Um, and then H2 says what type of photo booth rentals do we have in Miami? Right here again, we have photo booth and then rentals and in Miami, right? So as we're scrolling down, where is that? Where is that exactly? We're gonna find
That
out
was
that.
up there.
So this one is right here.
Mhm.
See that? And then this one here, H2, you said is up here.
No, no, no. So that one is the top one right there.
Yeah.
That's weird. It looks different on your screen. Oh, maybe it's because it's like minimized because of the thing inside.
Mhm. And then what type is right in here? So
Yeah.
let me move this out of the way. If I move this out of the way, let's see. Come back to it right now. There it is. Okay. Just wanted to make sure everything was in here. Let's go back. And your H2 here. And when you're working on your website, Bradley, you can actually make these all H1s, even though they're not H1s as it appears outside. But the way it'll be crawled as an H1 is you making those changes in the back end of your website. And it looks like you might be using Wix. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Yeah. So do you want me to show you how to do that, Bradley? How to make these
I
H1s instead
think
of
I
H?
know how to make it H1, but sure, you can show me.
Yeah. So H1s carry more weight. It's basically gonna read an H1 differently from an H2 because it's basically the title you're trying to rank for. So I would change these H2s into H1s and fill your H1s with the best keywords that you want to rank for. Like for example, this is a solid one right here, corporate event photo booth for H2. This was a solid keyword right there. In fact, I want to take a look at it. I'm using a tool called Keywords Everywhere, and it gives me related keywords. It shows me the volume, and then also things people ask for related to the word corporate event photo booth. Another thing I can do. Are you starting to use a keyword planner on Google yet, Bradley?
I have used it. I used a lot of like this site called Uber Suggest for like keyword stuff.
Yeah. What do you make of Uber Suggest? You like it?
Yeah, I like it. I'm like trying to learn it as we go, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a learning process, but for the most part, it's cool.
Good man. You're becoming a scientist, bro.
Hey, slowly but surely.
Yeah, yeah. Once you dive into stuff like that, it's like no one can take those learnings away from you. You get better in the competition. So this keyword, for example, you'll be able to rank pretty quickly for it because the competition is low. The volume hasn't increased much. However, it's getting 100 to 1,000 average monthly searches. The corporate
Now
event.
the question becomes, how do you rank for multiple keywords in one page?
You just have to put more content around it so that your page becomes a topical authority place for those specific keywords. Now, that's actually a really good question. So, for example, say you want to start ranking for corporate event photo booth, and then what you
Mhm.
can do right here on your web page, and I'm going to go ahead and so yeah, H1, H2s that you have right here. This one it just repeats itself. What
Um,
what I
yeah, so I'm gonna
suggest what I suggest, Bradley, is use either this one, or this one right here, and make sure you put in the word 360 photo booth because this is right now what we're lacking is the golden word 360 photo booth. We have to put it in here somewhere.
okay.
Yeah, definitely cannot leave out 360 photo booth. That's the bread and butter right there. But
And if you looked, what I did was, if you go to the home main page,
let me go ahead and close this here. Yep.
so if you go, you could go to services.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to like 360 photo booth rental,
Yeah.
so I kind of optimize like each page with like those keywords.
Let's see here. This one's solid. This one's the best one so far, Riley, that I've seen.
Mhm.
This one's a very nice keyword. In fact, let me go ahead and grab it here. So, for example, if I put this in, say, if I put this here in Google, it would be incredible if with this keyword you pop up right here on the top three. So you asked me earlier, how do I rank David for different keywords within
Oh,
like
right there.
right here?
Yep.
Yeah. So do you see how I said it would be easy to rank for this keyword? This is a long tail keyword. Your
Mhm.
website is already ranking for it just for the fact that you did it correctly for that specific H1. So this is actually a victory for you. What is this? And that keyword is actually there's an increase of 400%. That means that for that specific keyword, it's driving more traffic to your website. And then you're also been working on your total backlinks. So you have more backlinks now.
Yeah, I've been working on that.
Yes, so that's working and that's paying off. So big ups on that. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we just need to drive more traffic to your website.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing now. I'm like trying to get more traffic to it.
Yeah, so
I
one way
started
you
my
can do that,
YouTube.
go ahead, Bradley, go ahead.
I was saying I even started a YouTube where we use like, the keywords and try to put it in the shorts and the
Mhm.
videos to serve as like backlinks.
Yes, so a really good way to drive traffic to your website is, and there's a couple ways that I know about, and I'm going to share those with you in a few seconds. But I just wanted to see the rest of this page here. I think the nicest one you have is right here, right? And then another good one right here would be book your 360 photo booth rental. This is another solid one. Uh, this one, of course, has good keywords in it again, just like the first one. And then these are H2s, of course, only represent kind of the description. Now, one way that you can drive more traffic to your website is this. So you have all of these tabs, and now you're just missing the blog tab.
I actually do have the blog. It's in our vision.
It's an
If you
hour.
cover our vision.
Yeah, so for our vision, I would probably have blog out here by itself.
Mhm.
Let's go to blog though. Yeah. And then when it comes to your blog, Valley, same rule applies. So you have 360 photo booth that you're trying to rank for rental and in the city. You can start making posts, and honestly, if you have time and you can make a post every other day, that's going to start driving a bunch of traffic to your page. And then when people stay there on your page and they start reading the post, and then the algorithm recognizes like visitors are averaging 3 minutes on this page, then guess what? Your blog page starts ranking a lot more, and then your traffic starts getting more traffic. I'm sorry, your website starts getting more traffic. And because your website is getting more traffic, that's already helping your website rank within those people that are competing for those keywords. So blog is definitely a free way to do it.
And how are you writing the blogs? Like, how much time are you taking to do that?
So what I'll do is I'll go over to ChatGPT, which I feel like you might be using already. Have you started using it,
Yeah,
Brad?
I've used it.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes it gets so annoying because like the content becomes repetitive, and I'm like, oh, I hate this.
Yeah, so it's there's also a plus version that I'm going to be signing up for. It's a plus version where it gives you the option to go under settings, and then you tell it this, you tell it, I am a photo booth rental business located in Florida, Miami, Florida. My target is X, Y, and Z. My writing style is with this tone, and then you can even give it an example of what a good post would be. So then it keeps all of that information, right? So then later when you go into write me a caption for my TikTok page, and you hit the arrow, and it starts generating information, it no longer is going to say immerse yourself in blah blah blah, like the same like repetitive stuff like you're
Yeah, I
talking
hate
about.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, so you're saying that's like ChatGPT 4, the new one?
It's the paid version. It's the plus.
Yeah, I had that one, but I didn't know that you had to tell it like that.
Yeah, there's
Do you
a.
have it already or you have tried it?
I'll send you the YouTube video. I haven't done it myself. I had a ton of things to do, but I thought when that was introduced to me, I said like, oh, I'm gonna make that change. I'm gonna go into my settings. I'm gonna go for the paid version, and I'm gonna basically train. It's like training a bot to
Yeah,
know more about you. And the more information it knows about you, the more information it has about your intent, and the more information you feed it as far as what you want it to spit out. Now you've trained it. You see, what happens is when you are in ChatGPT and you are asking it for certain prompts and it starts spitting stuff out, have you noticed that you'll say, like, okay, don't use this word, and then he rewrites it, and then you say, okay, now make this sound more friendly and fun, and then rewrites it, and it gets better and better and better, but it's a process that you have to go through.
yeah,
Well, moving forward, because it's going to have all of your information and your writing style, you won't have to do rewrite, or like put in new prompts, because you're training it to know more about you, and it's going to save that information. So even when you log out of ChatGPT and you can't come back in, you don't start off from scratch with the new thread, because remember, now it has information that you fed it. It's going to help it produce something that you're more happy with.
perfect.
Yeah. And then let's do this here. And another thing you can do is, it's, you know how you got back, you know how you have backlinks now, Bradley?
Yes.
You got those on Fiverr, right?
No, I naturally got those like every day I look, I see more and more. I don't know how. I don't know what I did. Like people will write random articles and they'll like put us in there.
Yeah. So that's probably someone locally doing that stuff. So if they're doing it and that stays on autopilot, sweet. But if you actually go to Fiverr and you type in backlinks, because I did this in the very, very, very beginning when I built my website. I went on Fiverr and I bought backlinks and citations. And for example, right here, they'll give you 90 high authority backlinks. Do follow backlinks. So they'll put your website and information on bigger websites that get a lot of traffic. And here's the thing, it works to an extent. because that website that people are finding your business at need to be somehow, some way correlated to the type of business that you provide. So, for example, if it's like a place that's known as a hub for party rental companies, and it shouts out all the rental companies, that would be a solid, high quality backlink. If it's a place that reviews photo booths, X, Y, and Z, but it's still somewhat tied into your type of business, that would work. But say, for example, it's a place where it's turned more for like real estate, right? Everything that revolves around real estate, but they're still able to put your website within there, then that wouldn't be the highest quality backlink. It still helps, but it doesn't carry as much weight as putting it inside big websites that are somewhat related to the type of stuff that you put out, whether it's a product or a service. So I would try something like along this road right here. And this is how you want to just do it. You just want to go on Fiverr, type in backlinks. Here's another thing you want: authority backlinks. So this is where you will start, Bradley. So when, as you mentioned earlier in our conversation, it's starting to pick up. I myself have a few emails to get to, and text messages too, of people who are ready to book for like October. So, for example, if that's going to start happening with your business, start utilizing that money and pour it back into, invest it right back into your business by getting backlinks and things that are going to drive more traffic. Earlier, so this would be the second way you would do it, Bradley. So one is blogs, and one is getting more backlinks here on Fiverr, and making those changes. But earlier you asked me about my workflow, right? Yeah. So let me go ahead and address that. So, and then we'll come back to this if we need to. So for me, back then the situation was people would either call and I pick up the phone and have a conversation, which is something that I prefer. I like picking up the phone call and actually talking to the individual, because that gives me the opportunity to book them on the spot as soon as they get off the phone. Because now they know the personality of the brand, they know the personality of the operator and who they're going to be doing business with, and you get to answer all of their questions on the spot. So there's no doubts that they have, and if they have any questions, now you form the relationship where they feel free to either call you or text you, because they know they're going to be there to help them with those questions. Now, sometimes what they would do is they wouldn't even call me, they'll just book me. When they book me, I get a notification on Wix. Then what I have to do now is, what I usually do is I need to get more information from them, like what are they celebrating. So then I would do a follow-up call, right, Bradley? And then I'll introduce myself and I kind of walk them through the process and let them know I'm going to be emailing you a 360 booth contract and I need it signed within 48 hours, right? So then I would get off the phone with them, go on my contract, start putting all their information in the contract, and then I'll download the contract from my Google Drive, and then I'll open up my email account and I'll go to compose email, write them an email, attach the contract, send it to them, and then either once I sent out that email, Bradley, I would text message them to let them know, hey, I sent out the email. Please make note that I need to sign within 48 hours. So look at how much work I've done so far just for that one booking, right? And on top of that, when sometimes they weren't able to sign the email, so what they would do is to say, can you please give me a little bit more time so I can print this out at work, sign it, and then send you a picture of the signed document? And in my mind, I'm thinking like, sure, that's whatever works for you. And then later on, Bradley, I would have to reach out to them after they pay their deposit when time is getting closer. When they pay the deposit, then that's when I start working on their overlay. So then I'll call them or text message them, and now we're going over the details of their overlay. We're going back and forth. Now you see how much energy it took just for that one booking?
Yeah, we definitely don't do it like that. We use HoneyBook, so it's pretty fast.
So with HoneyBook, there's some pretty cool automations going on. But now what I'm doing, Riley, is when they go to book, within that booking section, it has that last section in the bottom. It says, if you want if you would like a personalized overlay, what would you want the wording to be and what theme and what colors, right? So then they fill that out. And then when they submit, then they get an automated email with the contract to sign right there on the spot. So now all that, what I was doing before, it's just streamlined now. And now I have their details for the overlay, and I send that up to one of my creatives, and they work on the overlay, and it's done. And I'm so grateful because it's gonna get busy sooner or later, Bradley. And if you guys are using HoneyBook and everything is streamlined that way, then you
Mhm.
guys continue just being efficient and making more money with less effort.
For sure. And then you said something about how do you get the email to automatically send to them when once you're booked?
So there's an automation section inside of Wix. Let me share that with you. And if
Because
you
I feel
watch,
like most of my clients don't book through my website. They book, but then again, probably goes back to like the ranking and stuff like that. Most people usually call or
yeah, so remember that the more traffic you send to your website, the better. And
yeah.
if you're using HoneyBook, that's separate from Wix. So it would be interesting if for Wix, you automated everything and everything is done. Payroll, payouts, payments, refunds, adjustments, coupons, everything within Wix. So it's a one-stop shop kind of thing.
No, I'm definitely like I know I have the basically the entire today. So once you get off this call, I'm like on it trying to work through all this stuff.
Yeah, so I made a video diving into how to set up the automatic contract. And if you look at those videos, the videos are a little longer, but the reason they're a little longer, Bradley, is because I'm literally going step by step by step on how to get that contract to automatically get sent once the client books.
And then on Wix, does it collect the second half of your payment?
So the second half of the payment, after the deposit gets made, the second half of the payment, you can have another prompt go out to remind them that the payment is due 10 days before. So they'll sign on the contract, they'll know because it'll be highlighted in the contract. And I'll show you that real quick
On
here.
my Wix, it doesn't collect the second half. It only collects the first half.
Yeah, so we would have to prompt the a system like an automation to
Mhm.
resend them the invoice, right? Resend them the invoice to give them the link to pay the second half.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I don't know why you just froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm still here. Hold on, Bradley. You can still hear me, right, Bradley?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, no, my camera died. Let's see. All right, as long as you can hear me clearly, Bradley, and see my page, okay? So let me go
Perfect.
to this page, and you can see my page. Am I correct?
Wait, no, I can't see a screen.
You can't see my screen, man. Come on, David. Let me
There
see.
you go.
All right, sweet. Okay, Bradley. So I'm jumping over to the automation section of Wix. And if they book my 360 photo booth for the 2 hours, this prompt right here, I'm going to go to more actions and I'm going to go to edit so you can kind of see what's in the inside. So this is going to get triggered when a session gets booked. And then it's going to say, okay, it's going to get triggered when a session gets booked. And when a session gets booked, do we want to apply to specific services? And then I put yes. So specific services. And then I went in here and I put I want this to be just for the 2 hour. Now I did that for the 2 hour because the contract that I used is in the wording, it's for the 2 hours. So meaning you can't generalize it because the contract specifically says 2 hours, and I'll show you how that looks like. So the action is to send the email. And then with that email, there's going to be a template. And I was able to grab information from the old contract that I was using. And now I made it a lot more concise. And you're going to see how that looks like right now. So they're going to get an email. And in the email, the subject line is going to read urgent 360 photo booth agreement. Please review. And it's going to and sign within 48 hours. And I highlighted these parts in yellow. Bradley, these are the most important parts. For example, the client pays a total of $555 for a 2 hour 360 photo booth rental, not including any promotional deals. That's important. Another important part, balance due, the remaining rental balance is due 10 days before the event date, and so on and so forth. But like I said, the highlighted parts are the ones that I really want them to just at least read. And then what they'll do is in their email, they'll go to please sign, and then a box will show up where they can sign with their finger if they're using their touch screen on their phone. And that part is done. Save and continue. So that's exactly what I did for the 2 hour, the 3 hour, the 4 hour, and the photo booth rental. is use this template right here. So for HoneyBook, how do you have it how do you have it set on HoneyBook, Bradley?
So for HoneyBooks, because most of the people are contacting us, we send them a contact form. They fill it out. Once they fill it out, we just send out the contract and invoice. So I bought the contract that you had like a long time ago. I don't. This looks definitely different,
Yeah.
like way shorter. So I'm assuming that you changed that. And even on the other one, I noticed you had the refundable for like three up to 3 days. That's
Uh-huh.
something I'm going to change now. I'm gonna do non-refundable deposits
Yeah.
because like people just like cancel, 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 cancel. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, wait, I gave up the spot for another event for this event, and now I basically get nothing back if we cancel
Mm.
in 4 days.
Yeah. So yeah, the contract you can always revise. Like if it's 3 days, you could change it to 14 days. Like, okay, you guys will get your refund if you book, I'm sorry, if you decide to cancel within 14 days. But now for me, it's more like it's a $200 deposit just to reserve the date. That's it. If you guys cancel, then the deposit was used to reserve the date. Basically, it's non-refundable.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do too. I'm literally gonna work on that as soon as I get off here.
Yeah. And so on HoneyBook, you say you send an
A contact,
information
a
form.
link. So I send out a link, and then they
Uh-huh.
fill out the link.
So you're not using the actual booking system within Wix then, are you, brother?
Not really. Only
Oh
when because
man.
most of my people don't even like book through Wix. They'll like call me, so then I'll send them the link.
Yeah, it'll be awesome if you can get them to book
Yeah, so
through.
that's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start just making them go through there and book it.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be so dope if you could just have everything in line with Wix. That's gonna drive up traffic massively, and that's how you'll be able to rank. And then if I go to blogs really quick here, I know we're talking about blogs earlier. This is traffic that came in, 91 views. So 91 people came in into my blog just to read this blog right here.
Yeah. So then you're telling ChatGPT right now to put in like the keywords that you want when they're doing the blogs.
So yeah, I'll have to give it certain prompts, and I think it's all about proper prompts. So it'll, for example, like if I'm on ChatGPT, have you noticed? Let's see. I mean, have you noticed there's this section right over here?
No.
Yes. So this is an extension of
Wait, how do you get that?
there is an extension for chat. It's called right here, AI. Here, I'll send you a screenshot.
Perfect.
There it is. I sent you a screenshot in our chat there, Bradley. So that's what I have as far as an extension goes. And now, Bradley, what I can do is I can come in here and I can read all of them and I can say which one. So, oh, here's a cool one. Human written, 100 unique SEO optimized article. So say I click on it and then it
So
says,
those are all extensions or
no, no, this is one
one
extension.
extension?
And that
Oh,
one extension gives me all of these cool prompts. So you can even go, oh, this is what you can actually do too, man. This is funny. I'm sharing this with you, but hey, I want to see you guys kill it. So check this out. So look at this, outrank an article. So you know what that means is you can go onto my page, you can copy the URL of my article, paste it in ChatGPT, and it'll rewrite it so it can outrank my article. This is pretty dope, man. So you can do something like this.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty dope, man. So, for example, the human written 100% unique optimized article, I can go right here and type in 360, 360 photo booth rental located. What's your city again? Coral.
Gables.
Did I spell it right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then it'll start writing about it. So you guys can say small support your local business, and then boom, put all this information. But here's the thing too, Bradley, what you have to note down is that blogs do really well when they're very informative and educational. So you get topical authority, meaning when it comes to this keyword, this website has provided the most information to the folks, meaning like it's like say you had a dog grooming business, right? And the dogs during the summer, they're biting their certain areas like of their body a lot. Those are called heat sections. You can write a blog about that. And even if you sell like products for dogs, the fact that you wrote that blog and it's driving traffic, especially during the summer, to your website, because Google has noticed that this particular blog provides a lot of information and people keep coming back to it, then Google is going to rank you up way high for certain keywords for that title on your blog, and that means more traffic to your website. So it's topical authority, meaning you are providing the most value, the best answers to like a Q&A, for example, and that's why you're going to start ranking a lot better. So just wanted to give you that example.
So I guess right now I see where I'm at. The only battle that I keep having is the verification thing for the Google My Business. Because every time I try it, like I never get the postcard. And then like for me to get in contact with them to do the video, they always ask for like a scan outside of my house for like any, logos or something like that. But I don't have that. So then I'm like, I send them stuff and then they never verify it. So now I'm kind of like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they don't you don't need to have a logo outside of your house if it's a home-based business and you're using a home office space within your business.
Mhm.
So if there should be a way around it. I don't think you should have a sign outside of your house.
Yeah,
You know,
because sometimes they ask for that. So what I'm thinking of doing is, and then I think I told you before, we lived in a college dorm. So
yeah,
at first, the first address we had was like, where we live on the college campus.
yeah.
So that was that. And then now I'm trying to figure out like I moved out of there, so I can't even get a postcard there, so I'd have to get it somewhere else.
So the address that you guys would see that would do well locally, do you have someone to have a family member or friend to use a physical address?
To use a physical address, yes, I have somebody that I can use. I'm gonna do it with them today. It's
Mhm.
the same address. It's the
Uh-huh.
same address. I just have to switch the name because then now if I get any mail, I won't receive it myself. So
Uh-huh.
I just want to make sure that we receive the mail. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna switch that around so that they can get it.
Mhm.
And then hopefully we get the postcard. I don't know how long it usually takes because I had postcards that I waited for like 3, 4 weeks. Nothing.
Yeah, the postcards usually the ones that I've dealt with usually within 7 days, about 7 business days. So sometimes close to 2 weeks. Because I had a few hiccups with Google myself, especially because I was claiming different locations.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I would say would be pretty wise to do, Bradley, it costs a little bit of money, is register your business on, for example, like Zen or what's the other one that I was using? I don't recall, but I have it in my bookmarks here somewhere. And what I did is I registered DBAs under specific addresses. So when they want to see, for example, paperwork, I could send them a snapshot of my registration for my business for that address, and that's a solid document to have.
Okay.
So if it's Esteem 360, you can have multiple DBAs for it. You don't necessarily have to have an LLC because an LLC now you have to pay a monthly fee. I'm sorry, an annual fee, which here in California is around $800. But if you, for example, have here, let me share my screen with you again. Let's see here. I believe it's called Swift. Yeah, Swift filings. There you go. My documents. So I did this on Swift. Everything was done for me online. And so now if I ever have issues, I could just send them this and it shows a Canary Capital Rentals. It shows the address. This is going to be part of my LLC, but it's a DBA. So I can collect, for example, I can collect a check for Canary Capital Rentals and still deposit into my LLC banking account that might be a different name from my fictitious business name.
So
But
you have several Google My Business pages?
yeah, I do. And the reason I do that, Riley, is so I can cover more ground.
How many do you have?
Just one, two, three, four. I have four Google businesses, but they're not all for the 360 booth. Two of them are for the 360 booth, and one of them is for the audio guest book.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, makes sense. And it goes back to the same website?
it goes back to the same website. Yeah.
That's smart. So, and are the all littles are ranking number one?
So one right now, I have to submit certain information because it's been suspended. I guess someone said like, oh, this guy is not using his real business name because it was 360 photo booth and in the city and it was ranking really well. And I think one of my competitors filed a suspicious activity kind of thing. So
Mm,
now all I have to do is exactly what I told you. All I have to do now, Bradley, is like I have to come into Swift filings, right? Set up a
mhm.
DBA and then just have them go over my paperwork to see like, no, this business is existing and here is the proof. So that's all I have to do. How much is it going to cost me? Let's see how much it's going to cost me. Does it show how much it cost me? Like under $200, I believe, rather.
Yeah, that's pretty clever. I actually had one. Like after we spoke, I had a Google My Business page that was called like 360 photo booth Core Gables, and then
Yeah.
that got suspended.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing. You know what? This is actually a good thing, Bradley, because people that are not going to go about this the right way and they just want to do it as a side hustle, these are the people who are going to be like, oh, heck no, man. I'm not going to go through all that trouble. My got suspended. It's like, I'm not trying to file for a DBA. I'm not trying to file this with Google. And that, what does that mean now, Bradley? It means that the people that are not really in it at
Mhm.
heart, they're not going to go through what you're going through right now with this representative in Google going back and forth. They're not going to put in that much effort because it doesn't really matter to them to that extent. They were just doing it to make an extra couple $100 a week. You're turning it into an actual business, which means that when everyone gets flushed out and only the strong stand, you're gonna be one of the beacons, right? You're the one that's gonna be in business. And now, bro, you're gonna get to a point where you might be able to hire those people that threw in the towel. Later on, you can reach out to them because you know you're gonna have a lot of bookings coming in, and they're not because their files are probably gonna be suspended. But sometimes their files are suspended, but they still show up on Google, but they can't get reviews anymore. They can't make any changes, and it gives you the opportunity to call around and do what I'm doing. Basically, you become a lead generator where you'll send them a lead at a finder's fee. So say, for example, you are booked on August 26th. You already have two events. You can't take on more events and people are still calling to book for you. So what you can do is tell the client, you know what? I have a network, a community of other operators. I'd be more than happy to find you a match that can execute that event for you. So then you'll have X, Y, and Z contractors, people that you already talked to in the past, and you tell them, hey, can you take on this event? They're gonna be like, heck yeah. So then you just put them in contact with that client. And when that client pays them the deposit, as soon as they get paid the deposit, that money goes to you as your finder's fee. And then they go out there and they collect the rest of the money on however they want, whatever terms they want. The fact is that you brought two people together and you collected a finder's fee.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that too. Oof, we
Yeah,
got
because
a
that's bringing in money for me, and especially during the busy
yeah.
seasons, brother, you can make about $300 a week and just referring people. And guess what? All you had to do was just put two people together, bro. You don't have to worry about their performance. You don't have to worry about uh their, how can I say this? Like you're not liable for them. You're
Yeah,
not white labeling it. I think white label is just too much risk for me, especially when you work so hard to build something.
yeah. Like on tomorrow, I have this event coming up, and my printer, because I have a print booth and my printer stopped working. So I had to give it to somebody, but I didn't white label them. I just let the client know like in advance. I was like, hey, we're having like a slight issue. So I have the sister company that I work with, and I could reach out to them, see if they're available. If they're available, we'll send over that booking for them. And she was like, yeah, I'm so happy. Thank you for letting me know. And now we're money.
Nice. Yeah, so now capitalize and expand on that because remember it's only you and your partner from what I know. So when
Yeah.
you guys start getting extra busy, you guys are probably gonna have to split the team up. You're probably gonna have to be at an event and he's gonna have to be at an event,
Oh
right?
yeah, we do that now. Like now we're like here, some here. And like we've done well with like and we haven't even like ranked. Well, our core Gables page was ranking until that got taken down. But I didn't
Mm.
know about the DBA. So now it's just a matter of getting this one ranked. So I just like hammer on getting Google to give us back our to give us our the maps
Mhm.
so we can be able to start scaling up through the maps. Because I mean, we already have like two, I think there's two pages. Our 360 photo booth rental in Miami page is like number 9. So we just got to put in more work on that and get more blogs on it, more content.
Yeah.
And the corporate event photo booth, working on that one too. So I'm gonna work on that one today. And
Yeah.
hopefully we can get that one to scale.
Yeah. So those keywords 360 photo booth and then photo booth rental. And then somewhere along the line, I would recommend Bradley invest in the audio guest book because it's a small
I have
you're
I have
you're you're offering that.
hmm?
And in another way, another tactic that's worked really well, Bradley, is if someone books with you or they're shopping around for prices, throw that audio guest book in there as a bundle to close them. You
That's
know?
clever. Because
Yeah,
it's like not that much work. So
exactly, bro. And what's cool about that is that if you close them on the idea of an audio guest book and a 360 booth and a photo booth, you can tell them like usually these are used at anniversaries and weddings, but it's extremely cool if you can use them for birthdays because these are dedications. So once you sell them on the audio guest book, like, hey, you don't need to call them someone else. If you do, that's fine. But what I'm willing to do for you is I will include an audio guest book, which we usually charge $200. I will include it in your bundle to make your moment more memorable. And then when you are doing that, Bradley, now at the actual event, you're taking a bunch of photos and videos of the audio guest book in place and people actually utilizing the audio guest book. And now you're grabbing content revolving
yeah,
around the audio guest book, brother. And that's how you can get that audio guest book ranked on Google and you can start getting bookings just for the audio guest book service.
perfect. I also have another question for you. As
Yeah.
far as YouTube, how do I use that as like a tool?
It's it's basically a mega microphone in your own broadcast. So what do you want to provide people with? What type of value do you want to give them? You see, for me, Bradley, is helping other operators and giving advice has led to more views, and then those views it grew the channel. And so now the channel, for example, because it gets so many views and it ranks for certain keywords within the description of every video, I tie that back into my website. So I put all of my social media handles and website in the description, and that drives more traffic to my website. So I use it as a tool, but it has a lot of benefactors just because not only am I, for example, selling things online, but I also have blogs and I also have a website that people want to check out the design, see like I want to see if I can make my website similar to David's or how much is he charging. And so if you notice, my intention was to do one thing, but because I kept working at it, new things unfolded, and now the website and now the YouTube page has multiple benefits that I didn't even think of when I first started the channel. But since you already going with an intention, just know that if you put in work, it's going to grow into something else. It's going to bring more benefits, but you have to ask yourself, what can I bring to it? I think would be cool since you have a partner is doing a lot of so naming your 360 naming your channel behind the scenes of a photo booth rental business. And
Yeah, that's,
people love that stuff, bro. People love to see like the back end, like what's happening, the struggles. For example, like say you already had a channel rolling and you talked about guys, got some bad news, right? And your thumbnail is you looking sad, like crying. Like, I wonder what happened. My printer stopped working. So I had to give up any and then people love that stuff because it's like real things that happen unexpectedly.
yeah. And I mean, for us, we also have the like the edge because like a lot of people reach out to us and they're like, hey, um, you guys are college students. How are you guys able to do it? And we've done like a lot of events with like notable people. Like I don't know if you know who Usain Bolt is. We did an event for him. If you're a football
Nice.
fan, we did Tyreek Hill. We did the Miami Dolphins. So a lot of like my college peers are like, dude, like how did you guys learn this stuff? And how are you guys? And we get like magazine coverage, like local magazines will reach out to us and be like, hey, we would definitely like to write about you guys, which are other backlinks that we also get because they always link our website and just talk
Perfect.
about us and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that like does well for us. So I was like, oh, and we're young guys, so we can just incorporate our personalities and just talking about like the whole business pathway and building on that.
Bradley, I would say capitalize on your journey.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? By documenting it.
We do a lot of that, especially like our Instagram, looks pretty amazing. Now it's just a matter of like going in and like cleaning up like the gritty stuff and getting like the organic traffic together.
Mhm. Yeah, I would say try to dominate YouTube with your storylines.
Yep. Yeah. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the shorts. And then we also have this guy that we hire on Fiverr who does like he does clips. Cause I actually have like this podcast that I wanted to start just talking about the business and stuff like that too. So
Mhm.
he does clips and then we kind of post that on shorts, which do pretty decent. Now I'm learning how to like put our website into the description and stuff like that. Like you've done one of those for us before and it was like on the first page of Google. So I want to keep like start doing that and
Mhm.
just bringing the traffic. But I also had a question like, what's the expectations? Like, how much bookings can I start expecting in a day? Because I have like moments where it's like I had weeks where it's like every day.
Yeah. Well, this is it's a solid question, and I want to be completely honest because I don't like sugarcoating things, right? Um, I've had weeks where it's like, what the heck? Is this an apocalypse? Like, where's all the leads? And people are probably thinking like, yo, David probably has five bookings every single week.
That's what I be thinking
Yeah.
sometimes.
And quite honestly, there will be moments like that, dude, where you're like, man, I'm like, I don't even have no more contractors to go to. So that pushes you to solve for a new problem, for a new issue. And now you have to reach out to more people so that way you have a stronger army behind you. Because what's going to happen is people are finding me first before they find the competition. So if, for example, I get to a point where I tell them like we're fully booked and I have no more contractors, guess what's going to happen, Bradley? That person is going to have to call someone else that I don't do business with, and then
Mhm.
they'll get the booking. But that's because I ran out of resources. So why not reach out to everyone in my area, right? Build a relationship so the client doesn't have to call them, and then I can get more money off the finder's fee.
Yeah, no, but I was saying more so like how many clients are actually like coming in. Like for example, like now it's the slower season. Like what's a good expectation? Like if you're ranking number one, like you're in a city that has like a lot of events and so am I. I'm like, can I expect like should I know? Because it's so weird to compare ourselves to like some of the other companies because we've made like big steps and not to knock anybody, but we kind of have like this, like there is like from since October
Yeah,
to like maybe like July, I've had at least 3 events every weekend. So and then like there was like 2, 3 weekends where there was like only one or none.
right.
And something's going on. So now it's when I'm like, okay, we need to go back to like working on like some of the SEO stuff and making sure that even when the slow season comes, because we're number one, any photo booths that get booked still gets booked through us. When
Right.
it's slow season, if you're not number one, they're only gonna book from the top. Like
Yeah.
nobody's gonna do deep sea, and then those people are available because it's slower season, so they're still able their events slow down, but because they're number one, they're still gonna be bringing in people. It may not be 10, it may be five, but they're still able to have those five events. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what's like a realistic expectation? Like, are we
For me, it's truly about location. That's
Mhm.
one huge contributing factor is one location, right? Because your location is going to dictate how much of the pie you get if you are ranking at number one. In my location, it's become very, very competitive. It's at a point where I would say it's saturated. So, for example, a slow month for me would be about 4 events. That's a slow month. Now a busy month could be a very busy month would be like triple that. So last year, Bradley, last year I think I did close to 80 events last year. So this year my goal was to do over 100 events. So if I wanted to do over 100 events, I have to average at least 8 events a month. And these are events that I need to get paid directly for, meaning I'm not getting contractors. I'm actually making a lot more profit because I'm working all 8 events, either
Mhm.
my assistants and me combined. But that's what I want to do. So your area, you would just have to be in business for like a solid year, Bradley. And then once you're in business for a solid year, now you have statistics, right? Now you have data, and now you can start making goals around those numbers. So, for example, this is going to be your first full year in business. Am I right?
I'm already like a year in, but I would say like we really started in like September, so maybe like one more month.
So you give it about a month, right? And then you look at all your information. I don't know if you're not using Wix to its full potential, but Wix has a way to track all of your.
Yeah, the events. But I mean, I kind of have a guesstimate. Like on average, we were doing like since September, October, we were doing minimum 3 events a week.
Mm. And that's because you guys had events during the weekday as well, right?
Yeah, like we take events like all throughout the week.
Yeah, so see that right there is a unique situation because a lot of people cannot work during the weekday because they have the regular 9 to 5. So you guys are in a unique space because you guys are college students and you guys
Yeah.
probably don't have, yeah, you probably don't have night school. So you guys can take events during the week in the evening and the afternoon
Hmm.
and then get back to the homework. But the cool part is that you guys are in a unique space, and I think that you should move forward with the podcast. And I think you and your partner can become mentors for the younger community of entrepreneurs because you guys, throughout this journey, look at how much you guys are learning. Look how much you're learning,
Yep.
and they don't have to sit in class for a whole semester to learn the stuff that you can teach them within a couple hours or maybe throughout one course, and then that course can bring you guys in an extra $1,000 a month.
Month, yeah, which is the goal. So I'm just like now just making it happen, doing the work.
I see that, man. But Bradley, you have a lot of good ideas. Double down on what's already working, and then with your free time, yeah, start tapping into new ideas. I think that podcast is a dope idea, um, definitely. And the fact that you guys are plugged into a network of college students still, you
Hmm.
already have like an audience if you think about it.
Yeah,
So, dude, the community loves you. They're writing about you guys. You have to like capitalize, like I said, on your journey.
for sure. No, that's exactly what we're gonna do.
Yeah, man. Cool, man. We're about an hour now, Bradley. Is there anything else I could probably answer for you before we get off, brother?
No, not really. That should be everything.
Do this, Bradley. When you are able to get that Google profile, the one with a bunch of reviews, when you get it up and running again, right?
Hmm.
Why don't you message me that the Google profile so that I can run a scan again and then send you the new report?
For sure. Okay, I'll definitely do that. So as soon as I get off this call, I'm gonna like see if I can get on the phone with the lady and see what she can do for me.
Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and stop recording. Then I'm gonna let this